I think that the backbone of any society is the family. I think that's the strength of any society. And when I say it's under attack, I think it's under attack in part.
By who, bro? By who?
This is gonna be the best day ever. This is gonna be the best day ever. Wake up.
There are people that are pushing narratives in current society that have nothing to do with reality, have nothing to do with science.
I love this, that he says technology. Parent screen time may be just as dangerous as secondhand smoke.
The following is an episode of WardRadio and does not represent the thoughts or the opinions of KHTS, its owners, or any of its affiliates, nor does it represent the official opinion of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. With that said, sit back, relax, and enjoy the program.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to Ward Radio. I am your host, Cardinellis, and today I'm joined in the studio via Zoom by Jonah Barnes, the Associate Professor of all things apocryphal. And today we're going to be talking about Dr. Phil taking the gold pill with none other than Jordan Peterson here, talking about the downfall of the family, how to fix it. And it's kind of hilarious, Jonah, when all of these supposedly independent people end up having to say completely conservative things, but they're trying to not sound Mormon or not sound Christian or not sound conservative as they say the wildly conservative thing that everybody needs to hear. So I've never seen people in my entire lifetime bend over backwards to try and not sound based while saying based things. It's actually really funny watching these people squirm as they try and be like, no, I'm a good liberal too. I can still be in polite society, but yeah, we're way off course. And instead of saying this is psychosis and these social contagions need to get put to bed, no, there's well, I don't agree with the direction the country's going. So anyway,
you see him do this start and stop thing.
Yeah.
They'll be like, and then they kind of realize, wait, I can't, how much can I say?
Yeah.
They start doing this calculus in their head. They're like, and then they start to stop, they do this kind of, and Dr. Phil does that too. Yeah.
Okay. So we've got a couple of clips here in which we're going to analyze what Dr. Phil and Jordan Peterson said in regards to the building block of society, the family, which the church.
Yes, we're thrilled. So we already got Tucker Carlson and Roseanne Barr, and you can go check out our previous video on Tucker Carlson taking the gold pill and Roseanne Barr, who was raised LDS.
Oh, I didn't know that. Interesting.
Giving him that. Yeah, she's doing her work. It's a long, she's in for the long game, with her ward missionary calling, 50 years type of long game, but she finally got to Tucker Carlson. We appreciate that. So he took the gold pill, and now Dr. Phil, or Brother Phil, we should say.
Okay. So here is Dr. Phil on Jordan B. Peterson clips. Dr. Phil, go.
When I look at what's going on in this country, I think that the backbone of any society is the family. I think that's the strength of any society. And when I say it's under attack, I think it's under attack in part.
By who, bro? By who?
Go ahead, say it.
When you say it's the strength of society, that's them be fighting words. All the feminists are booting up their laptops. All the LGBTQIA activists are, logging into their blogs and into their Twitter accounts and, getting ready to fake some serious outrage. What are you saying here, Dr. Phil? What are you saying?
Unintentionally by technology, and in part because there are people that are pushing narratives in current society that have nothing to do with reality, have nothing to do with science, have nothing to do with fact, nothing to do with history. They're just running an agenda that's very self-referential, and it is not in our best interest at all to...
Oh,
wow.
Well, who would he be talking about, Jonah?
I don't know. I can't imagine.
There's people in our society that are endorsing pseudo-scientific narratives in our current society that are not in our best interest. Wow. He's saying a lot without saying much, but he's dancing around. He's dancing around it. Is he going to say it? Have you seen this yet? Have you seen this?
Yeah, I have seen it.
Does he say it, or do you not remember?
He doesn't. Yeah,
He's a pansy. He won't say it.
He does.
He
that start
won't
and stop.
say it. He won't say it. So when they come after him and say, "Oh, are you talking about queer theory and the transgender movement?" He could say like, "Well, no, I was also talking about people that paint their orange cars pink, which is distasteful, and it's pseudoscientific." That like, no, it's like, okay, we all know what you're referring to, bro.
Well,
I love what you're referring to.
I love that he also throws in there. I love this that he says technology.
Yes,
there's a lot of technology that is actually damaging the family unit.
And I do give him credit for that as well, because when he actually said that, I thought, bro, I actually thought that was really wise, and I wish he would have actually gone into more depth by by what he meant by that. Speaking of being articulate, there you go. Diction is done with the tip of the tongue and the teeth, right? So anyway, I wish he would have gone into a little bit more detail. Because people, I don't think, realize how much of their opinions have been formulated by algorithms that are designed to make the platform more money, not designed to make you wiser, designed to get you to watch more and rage bait you, not to make you more well-rounded by multiple inputs of information. So
yes, so I threw in the Discord just now a little article from a few years ago. I thought this was the wisest thing that I've heard. I'm a parent. I have a lot of mini humans that follow me around and eat my food and demand that I buy them more food.
Okay.
But this article right here, it says screen time, parents' screen time, not the children's screen time. Parents' screen time may be just as dangerous as secondhand smoke. I love this metaphor.
Get out of town, really?
It's saying that when parents are on their screens, because children need a face to read and to interact with. That's how they learn to socialize. And so even if your child isn't on a screen, the parent being on a screen all the time and covering up their face is preventing the child from getting that social development. It's really, really bad for them. And so this research suggests that parent screen time is the new secondhand smoking for rearing children. I thought that was amazing.
Wow, anyways. Look at this. The Environmental Protection Agency first warned of secondhand smoke in 1991, some 30 years after scientists determined that smoking cigarettes causes cancer. Today, a growing body of research points towards a new indirect health hazard. Just as frequently being around other people while they smoke can cause cancer, heart disease, and lung disease, and other ailments, what I call secondhand screen time could be endangering children. Wow, interesting.
Yeah, it's huge. Pretty cool. So Dr. Phil, Brother Phil, we're gonna call Brother Phil to do a Fifth Sunday lesson on the dangers of technology for parents. So Dr. Phil, if you're listening to this, Fifth Sunday's coming up.
Okay, so we got another quote here. From the same clip. So is the first clip over with, my man, that you showed us? Now we're on to the second
So
clip?
Dr. Phil is just identifying that the family is under attack from narratives that are not grounded in reality and technology. And he's talking with Dr. Jordan B. Peterson, who has not taken the gold pill yet, or maybe he has, but he just doesn't.
He's not taking the gold pill, but he's teaching the gold pill. I've seen his lectures, brother. He may not realize it, but that brother's teaching Sunday school every time.
Big time. Yeah.
Okay, so this is what Jordan Peterson has to say in response.
On average. And so the rule seems to be both morally and perhaps arguably biologically that the nuclear family is the necessary minimum of social arrangement that allows for propagation. It's something like that. And so if we fragment the family below the level of the nuclear, then things fall apart. Now, maybe the nuclear family is also too fragmented, but we could start with it as a minimal basis. And
yes.
Oh, interesting. So you're saying
in science speak, what he's saying is the nuclear family is the basic building block of society, which that rings a bell, Cardin. Does that ring a bell for you? Like, the family is the basic unit of society. I swear I've heard that before. I can't think of where I've heard that before.
I believe it is the building block of civilization. But let's look up the Proclamation de la Familia. Okay.
Ooh, a little
And-
German for all of those of you who don't speak
Yeah,
German.
exactly. Here it is.
Yes.
A family, a proclamation to the world. And we put this up on the screen. And what do you know? The proclamation clearly states doctrine that promotes the sanctity of the family in a society where families are being undermined by adultery, divorce, cohabitation, abuse, homosexuality, abortion, teen pregnancies, pornography, disobedient children, economic struggles, and increasing unwillingness among married couples to bear and real children.
And MTV.
And okay, by the way, I have to say, just throwing in disobedient children in there, along with like adultery, divorce, cohabitation, abuse, I think that was like, I think, I'm not one of those people here that's like woke scolding my way through the church office building, choosing to take offense at every single thing that every prophet said because it's going to get me clout on Instagram and on Twitter. But, to me, like throwing disobedient children among there with like teen pregnancies and the divorce epidemic, like,
A bit harsh.
that seems like a little hyperbolic. All right.
A little hyperbolic, yeah.
So anyway, building block of society. Yeah, here it is right now. This was a talk that was quoting the Proclamation of the Family, not the Proclamation of the Family itself. Ah, dang it. Here I was thinking that in real time, I was actually showing I was showing the Proclamation, but it was actually the family, the Proclamation of the world.
Well, so I actually have tracked down what Dr. Jordan B. Peterson was reading.
Okay.
In the Discord, there's a small blurb. It starts with, "In my judgment," and this is a talk by Gordon B. Hinckley, who is my prophet.
Okay,
Gordon
it's
B.
on the
Hinckley
screen now,
is the
man.
guy. He says, "In my judgment, the greatest challenge facing this nation is the problem of the family, brought on by misguided parents and resulting in misguided children. The family is the primary unit of society. I believe it was designed by the Almighty, and a nation will rise no higher than the strength of its families." He said that back in July 2003. So I think clearly when Jordan B. Peterson was a young father and, he was raising his children, he was reading this talk, and it has lasted to today. And now he's just now Gordon B. Hinckley said it better. Let's be real. Be real. Okay. Gordon B. Hinckley said it better. All right. The problem I think that all these people are going to face, and I'm very sad that they will, because we love their help, is that they're not grounded in the Almighty, right? Gordon B. Hinckley says it was designed by the Almighty. Okay, this surpasses everything. It's kind of like the Constitution, right? Like this, like there's certain unalienable rights gifted us by God. So you can never get rid of them, no matter what your logic or what your policy or what your congressman or what your president thinks is never going to go away. It's kind of like that with the family. In our religion, the family is paramount. It is founded by the Almighty. And so there's no way around that. No matter what biology says or what doctors say or what activists say, you're never going to move that from the core of the restored gospel of Jesus Christ. So,
yeah. So, what's interesting too is here I am just looking at my profile or the WardRadio profile, I should say, and I posted something interesting today. It was just a retweet, nothing big, but anyway, some guy named Riker said, put up a quote from Dallin H. Oaks that I thought was interesting. He said, "As for me, I find some wisdom in liberalism, some wisdom in conservatism, and much truth in intellectualism, but I find no salvation in any of them." Which I think is really what you're saying here. You're trying to say that these guys are saying so much truth. It's not quite rooted in the Almighty. So I question its longevity. Because it'll change some people's mind for a period of time, but unless that deeper conviction is there, that is a conviction that frankly only religion can bring, you question its longevity. So words of wisdom from Jordan Peterson. We got some words of correct observation from Dr. Phil, and then we got some words of wisdom as well from Dallin H. Oaks, saying, these are truthful words, but I find no salvation in them. So
now
yes.
we would be remiss.
Okay, hit it.
We would be remiss. Okay, if we didn't give, now that Brother Phil is coming into the fold and taking the gold pill, we're thrilled to have you, Brother Phil, we'd like to say.
Yeah.
But we'd be remiss if we didn't do a little hazing. And
okay.
We actually have in the Discord, you just got to bring up that one time on Dr. Phil's show that he was going to have this guy on and shame him because There was this dude who ran a channel called Bum Fights where he would have homeless people fight for money, and it was a horrible thing.
Okay.
And he had the dude on. He was going to shame the dude, and the dude came on and shaved his head to look just like Dr. Phil, and it was hilarious. So Dr. Phil,
I've heard about this, but I've never seen it. I've heard about this,
great.
but how long is the clip?
Oh, I don't know what the clip. But there was the initial when Dr. Phil's like, well, essentially what he says is like, how can you do this and exploit these poor homeless people? And the guy turns around and says, you exploit people on your channel for entertainment all the time. I'm just doing what you do. And so
oh my gosh, I am literally pulling this up right now. This is too good. Okay, here it goes, man. Here it goes.
Doing a service to the homeless people. I'm turning these people into something special. I'm motivating them, inspiring them. I believe.
Oh, this is so early 2000s. Look at this.
It's old, yeah.
Infatuated with watching our videos because there's a lot of people that are addicted to violence. They want to see homeless.
Okay, we're gonna
people
fast
battle
forward
off
to when he goes on Dr. Phil. This is hilarious.
video series. I'm not surprised at my success. It's a sick world.
Stop the tape. Stop the tape. I don't want to talk to you.
Why not?
That's despicable. I don't want to talk to you. You can go.
If you think I exploit people, every time you bring a guest on this show, you exploit them and spread whatever the problems they have to the whole world.
See, he just says you're doing the same thing. I just do it with homeless people. You do it with it or whatever. So look,
dressed as Dr. Phil.
Dude, but that is
that's an argument, bro.
He's committing to the role with that one.
So,
anyways, that
did
was
he
just
win?
hilarious,
Did he win?
Oh, well, no, I mean, the guy's a despicable guy. I mean, he really is. He's paying homeless people to fight. It's an awful thing. And Dr. Phil, yeah, of course, Dr. Phil's an entertainer, and sometimes he's exploiting people too. Sure. But there's levels and there's levels. So,
okay.
Anyways,
I know I get there's levels and there's levels, but dude, you dress up like Dr. Phil and you say, oh, you're trying to take the high road? You just took a divorcee single mom, dragged her life through the mud on national television, made her like absolutely undateable by talking about all this horrible stuff that she's done, for what? Like 30 pieces of silver? Like,
hey, we believe in repentance. We're thrilled to have Brother Phil joining the fold. Okay. Let us know when your baptismal date is. Okay.
And if you're going to be bringing your brother with you, if you're going to be bringing this guy with you.
We got to get whatever the bum fights guy.
Jeez. Sounds like both are in need of some kind of repentance. But yes, you're right. There are levels. And I think
there's levels. It's all exploitation, but it's okay. We believe in repentance.
Last thing I'll say is we did a documentary on Larry Cohen, considered the king of B movies, right? One of my favorite quotes is he was considered the Martin Luther King of filmmaking by many young black actors because he was the first to really start using black actors in all of his movies, developing friendships with them, and birthed a lot of careers of like Yaphet Kotto, who's a really cool football star. I'm totally blanking right now on his name. Something Williams. I can't remember. This is so frustrating. But anyway, he said, and it's really funny, actually. He's like, a lot of people say that my films are black exploitation films. He's like, I don't know why they say that. My movie is no different than James Cagney and he said Hell Up in Harlem is no different than James Cagney and Scarface. What's wrong with the black actors getting a job for once? Like he literally said, why do they call it black exploitation? My movies are no different than Scarface. What's wrong with the black actors getting a job for a change? And I was like, oh, snap, dude. And he's right.
Yeah, well,
at the end of the day, he's right.
He's right.
Anyway, okay, let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Okay. And Dr.
Is
Phil,
the world finally coming around? Is the world coming around to what the prophets have been saying for 10,000 years?
Yeah.
Are they finally wising up to it, or are they going to back off and get driven into the mountains again because they don't have it founded on the Almighty like we do?
I hear you, man. I hear you. So anyway, thanks for hanging out with us, Jonah. Thanks for hanging out with us, Dr. Phil and Jordan Peterson. And as always, let's keep the conversation going in the comments below. And as always, for this and more, please check us out at WardRadio.com.
This is gonna be the best day ever. This is gonna be the best day ever.
Wake up, top of the morning, the bacon is crispy, the coffee is pouring.
My meditation is peeling an orange. The bank says I'm already scoring.